Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Gentle parenting, where you negotiate with tiny negotiators who also happen to be experts in crayon art restoration. Today in the rLounge, are the adults really ever in charge? Am I the jerk for telling my sister gentle parenting is BS and kicking her and her family out of my house? My younger sister and her family, which includes her husband, and 2 kids, 3 female, 5 male, were visiting my husband and I and staying at our home for a week. A little background. We don't live in the same state. I've had kids of my own, but they are young adults now and out of the house. My sister is much younger than me and is still in the young family stage. We've always had a pretty close and good relationship, despite our age gap. My sister does gentle parenting. I'd never heard of that before she came to stay with us because I guess I'm out of the loop since my kids are grown now. She explained to me that gentle parenting means they don't do time out, don't do grounding, etc., but instead just talk about their feelings. I thought it was a bit odd because it sounds like there is zero discipline, but didn't say anything as to not rock the boat. Until I saw gentle parenting in action and was appalled. During the first 2 days of their stay, her daughter drew on my walls with crayon, and her son pulled up flowers I had recently planted in my garden bed and threw a rock at my car parked in the driveway. To top it all off, they both kept constantly pulling my golden retriever's hair and hitting my dog in the face. My dog is very sweet and a little on the older side, so she's very calm. She never bit, attempted to bite, or did anything that would harm or spook the kids. In every instance, I was expecting my sister or her husband to discipline the kids. They never did. So I did, or at least I tried. Just me telling her kids to stop or scolding them in the slightest made my sister lose her mind. She told me it's not my place to discipline them. I told her someone has to because they're messing up my home, but I agree it should be their parents scolding them. However, it seems their parents are not willing to. I told her they need a fairly stern punishment for what they've been doing, and she started going off about how they refused to spank their kids while we were spanked as kids. I told her I'm not suggesting she spank her kids, but a stern talking to and making them clean up what they had destroyed would be a good idea. She said what her kids were doing was not worth what I would call discipline. All she did in every instance was ask them, "What kind of feelings are you having that made you do that?" And that was it. So I realized this behavior was not going to stop, and my husband and I told them they need to find a hotel or go home. Even though we had planned for them to stay a full week, we couldn't handle more than 2 days because of gentle parenting. I told her that gentle parenting is going to cause her kids to have a very hard life and rude awakening someday, probably even jail time. She argued back and really lost it when I told her, this hippy-dippy gentle parenting crap is a scam and will ruin your kid's life, which I regret now but boiled over in the moment. Now she won't speak to me, and her mom says I'm in the wrong for kicking them out when they planned on staying longer. Am I the jerk? Let's get some relative comments from the community. It would have worked way better than using violence and shouting. Most chronic negative childhood behaviors are the direct result of the parenting techniques of physical and verbal abuse or domination. Edit. What you did with their children was in fact a gentle parenting. If they can't behave with the dog, then you remove the dog from them. What you did to your sister was also gentle parenting. It's about having boundaries. It sounds like she has none with her children, and that is as bad or worse than abuse parenting. The OP replied, I never used violence towards my children, and I should have said raised voice instead of yell because that is more the point I was trying to get across. It's not realistic to expect a kid only to be exposed to a super calm tone 100% of the time and then be able to deal with a non-calm tone in the real world when they're grown. There are definitely circumstances where a raised voice is appropriate. If you don't agree, then that's okay, but I guess you're a monk. Well, looks like your home has become the new gentle parenting boot camp, complete with wall art, landscaping lessons, and a crash course in dog grooming. Next session includes advanced car denting techniques. Sorry your sister didn't appreciate the curriculum revision. You're definitely not in the wrong here, OP. Update. Same post next day. Update. I read the comments. Sounds like my sister's version of gentle parenting is not actually gentle parenting. However, the real gentle parenting lots of you are describing still sounds like an odd choice of parenting in my view. And if it was around when my kids were little, I can't imagine it would have worked on them. I guess this new generation of parents are just doing things differently. Not sure how that's going to work out in the long run for society, but to each their own. The world isn't gentle. How are all these gentle parent kids going to deal with the real world when someone yells at them, or does any of the things gentle parenting doesn't include? If our world was a perfect utopia, then gentle parenting sounds great, but it isn't, and it's not realistic to me. I don't plan on ever inviting my sister over to stay at my home again if her kids will be with her. That is, if she ever decides to even speak to me again. Which, even after all this, I do hope our relationship is mended because she is still my sister. Just can't deal with her kids. And now time for more relevant comments. First up. Hi, gentle parent here. This isn't gentle parenting. You're still allowed to say no in gentle parenting. As part of me feels this is fake with how weirdly focused you are on gentle parenting itself instead of your sister's weird behavior. The OP replies, I'm so focused on gentle parenting because it is solely to blame for the downfall of mine and my sister's relationship, which I have always cherished. I'm focused on my sister's behavior, but her behavior is being driven by her parenting style. She completely changed as a person when she implemented this parenting style. Another commenter says, the dog thing? Sure, I'd be annoyed at your sister for not intervening. But all the things you described are regular kids' things for their age, to be honest, and yelling at your sister, kicking them out after 2 days over it is a big reaction. If you consider pulling flowers and drawing on walls destroying your home, I don't know what to tell you. Never have kids of your own, I guess. The OP replies, I did have kids of my own and they're grown now. They never did things like that because they knew there'd be consequences and didn't act like feral children. Another commenter chimes in, it makes me happy to see so many people here defending what gentle parenting really is. It seems that OP is just posting here to justify harsh or physical punishments. It seems that the kids are less of an issue when compared to the action of either the OP or her sister. I'm going to guess that both grew up with punishments like OP describes. One goes one way and the other goes another. Your issues with each other could have been handled differently, but I'm guessing you're not going to ground yourselves. The OP replies, I've told you my sister's kids destroyed my home and abused my dog, and that I don't condone spanking, but they need to clean up their mess and be held accountable. And what you got out of that was, I'm a harsh parent? Looks like we've discovered the real-world application of gentle parenting. It gently destroys relationships faster than a tornado in a trailer park. Who needs discipline when you have crayon art on walls and garden vandalism, right? Maybe I should try gentle adulting next time I accidentally knock over someone's coffee. Let's see how that goes down. Update. 2 days from OG post. Someone either sent my sister my original post or she is on Reddit herself and saw it. She texted me a link to my post and said she can't believe I'm airing our family drama online. She told me she was leaning towards working out our differences, but now that I've posted it on here, she's done and blocked me. Since I can't reach her by phone, I'll address her on here since she's clearly reading this. Allison, I do love you and have always cherished our relationship, but if you feel like you're done, then that's okay. I can't change your mind. Look at me talking about feelings. You should be proud. At this point, I'm pretty done too, so here it is. You are family, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be a pushover and allow your children to behave the way they did in my home, especially pulling Bella's hair and smacking her in the face. That was animal abuse. It was also completely unacceptable, and I don't understand how you will allow them to behave that way you and Steven allow them to. Some people have suggested I send you a bill for the damage your kids caused, but I'm not going to do that. I'll pay for the repairs, but only because I know this will never happen again since your kids are not welcome back in my home unless you drastically change your parenting style and finally implement legitimate discipline. I'm still not saying you need to physically discipline them, but you need to do some form of actual discipline before it's too late and their future is ruined. I don't understand why you have decided to gentle parent, or whatever your form of gentle parenting is. It has changed you as a person. You don't act the way you used to, and now you are offended by everything and don't agree with the way anyone else does anything. I just don't understand what happened. I encourage you to look at some of the comments on the original post to prove to you 99% of the people would have done exactly what I did in the situation, and I was not just being harsh. There has to be consequences for bad behavior, or else you are doing your kids a disservice, which is not kind on your part. When you read the comments, some have good parenting advice, and others are harsh. But hey, that's life. It's not so gentle. Now a couple more relevant comments. First one. This doesn't sit right with me. I'd suggest having a talk of some sorts. The OP replies, she's blocked me and I can't call or text her. What do you suggest I do? Send her a note via pigeon? Another commenter replies, do you have any mutual friends who could send messages? The OP replies, I'm not getting any of our mutual connections involved in this drama. If she blocked me, she clearly doesn't want to talk anyway. OP, it seems your Reddit post had the impact of a runaway circus elephant. Loud, unexpected, and now your sister's blocking you faster than an online troll. Maybe she's blocking you because she can't hack the truth. Family drama on social media, huh? It's like airing your laundry in a windstorm. I say her blocking you is a blessing. You did the right thing by giving her the digital timeout she needed. Update. Post 2. 4 days later, Allison, not her real name, finally reached out to me to talk. She read some of the comments and sees that most people think she's neglecting her kids due to her parenting choices. She asked if I agree. I told her I think there could definitely be some changes in the way she parents. She said she had tried gentle parenting but realizes now that she has gotten it wrong. I asked her what her plan moving forward is. She apologized for the way her kids acted and said her and her husband have lost friends over the way her kids act because people don't want to be around them. She said this whole ordeal has been a wake-up call. Allison said she's going to try a different parenting style since gentle parenting didn't pan out very well for her kids. She said she's going to enforce punishment, consequences, but still no corporal punishment. I said I think that's great. Her worry is that the kids won't take it well and it will cause even more problems. I told her they'll just have to get used to it. Apparently her husband was never in agreement with the gentle parenting, and it has also caused marital issues due to the fact they didn't even see eye to eye on it. Now, her husband is happy she'll finally come around to some form of consequences and punishment for their kids. I told her I think she's making a wise decision. I still am not happy about what her kids did to my house and dog, but the fact she's willing to change her parenting style so that doesn't happen again makes me feel a lot less angry. And yes, I got Allison's permission to post this update. We really were able to work things out. She really is a good person, just had a lapse in judgment and parenting. Edit. Since this will be the last update post on this issue by me, wanted to say something about the permissive parenting versus gentle parenting styles a lot of people commented about. Gentle parenting, how everyone is explaining in the comments, sounds like the kid does something wrong, then the parent asks how they feel, then redirects them to a different task activity. Maybe tells them no, but maybe doesn't. And they call the redirection to a different task and activity the discipline or natural consequence part of the gentle parenting. This is the exact same thing as permissive parenting because there's still no legitimate punishment or consequence. I'll agree that my sister wasn't doing the form of gentle parenting everyone was describing because all she did was talk about feelings and left out the redirection and the possible, no, don't do that. But even after reading all the comments, permissive parenting and gentle parenting sound very familiar, if not the exact same. If kids are taught redirection is what happens when they do something wrong, they're going to be completely shocked and confused when there are real consequences and punishment, and not just redirection or natural consequences in the real world. If they grow up and steal a car, the police arrest them, send them to jail, and make them pay a fine. They will think it's incredibly a harsh punishment and be shocked because all they were expecting was a natural consequence of returning the car to the owner and then moving on with their day. Some relevant comments, there were a lot, but I feel like this reflected the general tone of most comments. Here we go. Simply because this is a hill I will die on, real consequences are a crucial element of true gentle parenting. Natural consequences does not mean no consequences. Like you said, you steal a car and you get arrested. Those are the natural consequences of your actions. The same is true of gentle parenting. My kid throws a toy at me, the natural consequence is that I'm going to put that toy up because I'm not going to have someone throw things at me. My kid draws all over the walls, they're going to clean, or help me, depending on age, clean it up. They broke a sibling's toy, they're going to use their own money or toys to replace it. Redirecting is useful at a very young age, before the brain has developed to make connections. Redirecting can be useful when you haven't hit the stage of needing consequences, i.e. kid is frustrated but hasn't yet thrown something. But redirecting is not the same tool as consequences, and both are vital for true parenting of all types, gentle or otherwise. Anyways, I'm glad y'all are working on it. I wish her and her husband all the best, and your relationship with her as well. The OP was downvoted on this comment. The natural consequences you're describing sounds more like the natural consequences of stealing a car would be returning the car to the owner, not jail. Editor's note. There's a lot of discourse from OP and commenters about gentle parenting and what different people think it means. Rather than include all of that, I left it here. If you're curious, feel free to browse the comments on the linked posts. Looks like Allison's parenting playbook just got a major revision without the gentle whispers and in with the firm nods. It's like switching from Zen Master to Headmaster overnight. Let's hope her kids take this new direction like ducks to water, or at least better than they did to redecorating your house with crayons. Here's to hoping for less artistic expression on your walls. What do you make of all this? And thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you soon! And put your chair back where you found it, or there might be real consequences.